Hi everybody, this is Ryan in Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to make my grandmother's Greek chicken and potatoes. It's something that's very comforting, it's very easy. Pop it in, let it cook for a little while, and it's ready to serve. We're going to go through a few of the ingredients and then we're going to get to it. So I've got our chicken breasts right here that I've taken some 8-ounce chicken breasts and kind of cut them in half. We're going to cut them the same size as our potatoes. We're going to put those in a minute, and the only prep work I'm going to show you right now is a little russet potatoes. So I like russets for this recipe specifically because they cook at the same time as the chicken, and what you're going for here is when you get to the end of it, they're going to kind of be overcooked, but they're going to be glazed because you're going to take stock, add a little bit of olive oil, and a little bit of lemon juice. So they're going to be tart, and they're going to be slightly mushy, but have this really wonderful crust to it. So I love to peel them with a European style peeler, and we're just going to peel them all the way. You can do this part ahead of time and hold them in water. And then this recipe comes from my grandmother Augustina. She was born and raised in Kalymnos, Greece, and she moved over here to Atlanta, I don't know, 60 years ago. But this is one of my favorite recipes. Whenever I think of her and I want to cook something comforting, whether it's cold or hot outside, this is my go-to recipe. So the other ingredients that I've got here are some fresh oregano on the stem. We've got some fresh black pepper, kosher salt, a little bit of chili flake. That's not really traditional. That's something that I like to add to bring a little spice to it. Some fresh lemon, of course. You can't have Greek food without lemon and garlic and olive oil. But we're going to take our potato now, cut it right in the middle here, basically cut it into 8 pieces. And you can leave these a little bit bigger if your chicken breasts are bigger, but we're going to cut them about the same size. And there we go. You want these to finish cooking at the same time as the chicken. So for our pan, we're going to take our potatoes and go ahead and lay those in. And then I like to put all of these things on the bottom so that they don't burn. So we've got fresh oregano on the stem, and we're going to space that out. And you'll see as you cook this, the stock is going to reduce over the top, and so all of these things might burn if you leave them up top. Got a few more potatoes. So really we're going to go with, for this recipe, 4 chicken breasts cut into different pieces and 3 russet potatoes. Maybe 2 or 3, depending on size. So those are going to go in. We're going to add about a teaspoon of chili flake. Spread that out. I've already taken my garlic cloves and just crushed them with the side of a knife. And you can go heavier on garlic if you prefer. I do. A little bit of black pepper. And the black pepper and salt, we're going to add that directly to the potatoes and then cover it with liquid. You can season your chicken breast, but it's just going to end up glazing it at the end anyways. A little black pepper. And now the salt is kind of, depends on if you use store-bought chicken stock or make your own. I would recommend buying a low-sodium chicken stock and then adding as much salt as you can to taste. And then you can always finish with a little bit more. So I'm going to give it just enough to season your potatoes and your chicken as you cook. You can always add more, but you don't want it to be too salty by the time you finish. And then last, I'm going to add some fresh lemon to it. You can use store-bought lemon juice if you want, but I always go with the fresh ones. I wouldn't add the actual lemon in because it boils and reduces. You're going to get that kind of like bitter pith flavor. All right. So once we've got all of that in there, we are going to add our chicken straight in. I've preheated my oven to 500 degrees. And the only thing we're going to do is add the chicken in and cover it with a little bit of stock. Now the stock, I put 2 quarts on the recipe, but it's going to depend on how big your pan is and how much sauce you want. Chicken goes right over the top. And then enough stock to cover. Alright, so we're going to take this, now that we've got everything in there, and we're going to cover it with aluminum foil nice and tight. I've got 2 sheets of aluminum foil, and we're just going to put it over the top, and then really try and make sure that every edge gets sealed, because you want to keep all that moisture in there as it comes to a boil. Now, when you put this in the oven, you want to be super careful, because you're going to slide that rack out towards yourself, and then very, very carefully remove that foil. But you're going to look for it to boil in the oven, and then you're going to let it reduce. So I'm going to pop this in the oven, and then we're going to take a look at it in a few minutes. Put it on 500 for 40 minutes to start. We're going to work on our Greek salad to plate it with. Alright, so now we're going to check on our chicken. It's been in the oven. After 40 minutes and it came to a boil, we took the aluminum foil off and then let it reduce down. As you start to get some color on the top of the chicken, you want to flip over the chicken, leave the potatoes alone, and then we're going to let it reduce down until almost all the liquid is gone, but that's going to be the nice juicy part. And us Greeks love juice. So we're going to check it out in the oven. Go ahead and pull it out. Oh yeah, it's fantastic. So it's reduced down really, really nicely. The chicken I flipped halfway through the cooking process and the potatoes I've left alone. So we're going to make a little simple Greek salad to go along with it. And if you know anything about Greek salads, there is no lettuce. Anything that's got romaine or arugula in it, it's not 100% traditional because they live on an island. So we've got some cucumbers and some onions already in the bowl. That I season with a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, and I add the salt right at the end so that the liquid doesn't come out of the tomatoes and the cucumbers. A little bit of feta cheese, and I'm only going to give it a pinch of salt at the end because we've got some salty flavors here with Kalamata olives, the feta, a little splash of red wine vinegar, and we can always taste it and add a little bit more later. And then of course, there wouldn't be a Greek salad without a little bit of lemon. And then as far as fresh herbs, oregano, dill, parsley, whatever you've got that's growing, just some nice rustic torn pieces here. And you can make it a little fancier, you can chiffonade it if you like, but for me, I just like to tear herbs and give it some nice texture. Dill's one of those things that people are very definitive about. I like a lot of dill, some people don't. You can kind of make it a fun, interactive salad if you want to and leave things on the side. And then, of course, we have to finish with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. We're using some local Georgia olive oil. When I say a little bit, I mean a healthy glug. Alright, so we've got our salad plated up. Just going to give it a little bit of mix. A little touch of salt, just to coat those cucumbers and tomatoes. Now that we've got our chicken ready to go, plate up our salad. There we go. And then we've got our nice beautiful chicken. Now you can use bone-in chicken if you like. I've used boneless, skinless chicken breasts here just because it's a little easier to find in the store and you don't have to do any work. Some of those beautiful Greek potatoes, and you've got that whole oregano in there as well. Don't be afraid. Give it everything that's in the pan. And that juice has reduced really, really nicely. Just give it a little bit of that as well. Serve it with lemon, of course. And then you can't have enough olive oil on the plate. But that is my Yaya's potatoes and chicken with a little Greek salad. And it's wonderful for the hot weather or the cold. And I hope you enjoy it.